80% of the world's medical research is supplied for by the National Institute of Health and Sciences in the United States. And by 2026, the government plans to cut their funding by nearly 40%. And I don't know why this crisis is not being addressed even more, because nearly 300 million people benefit from treatments that were the direct product of research being done through NIH funding. And I think the result that we're definitely going to see in the future is an increase in the loss of lives, quite literally right before our eyes.
Been making cuts at the NIH, or National Institutes of Health. The agency is the world's largest supporter of biomedical research, and since January, it has fired over 1,300 employees and canceled more than $2 billion in federal research grants.
It doesn't even matter what your political standpoint is, because regardless, it's evident that this cut is not going to have positive effects in the future. And I'll get into why these cuts were done later and why we should not have done them. But just look at this first part, for example. 1,300 people lost their job because of this already. And where do you think those people are going to go? They're going to go overseas. They're going to go to Europe. They're going to go to Britain. They're going to go to China looking for other research positions, because now they have no job and they literally have no money to supply themselves with. And where are they going to do their research? They're going to go abroad to look at and find other opportunities. So this is definitely not a good move for the US.
How have hospitals been impacted by this so far?
Well, Liz, more broadly, the NIH funds all types of research across the country, things from vaccine development to finding the cure for cancer.
Safeties, controls, double blinds, placebos, all of these things that typically take more time and money are literally going to be cut out because of the lack of funding that we're going to see in the future. And what does that result in? Maybe you're going to have a drug that's a false positive, and that results in even more deaths and even more potential illnesses done to people. Think about it. This is a horrible decision.
These NIH cuts that have been made so far by DOGE, they say they're largely for what they call indirect costs, things like lab maintenance and support staff.
And I know that CBS, this news network, can be Democratic lenient, but let's take a look at this from a researcher's perspective. Okay, you're making like 30, 40 bucks an hour, and you've been working all your life basically. You've been working on one specific topic and building so many different perspectives and research and different possibilities and opportunities just to combine into a massive grant proposal, and then suddenly that grant doesn't even exist anymore because NIH can't even fund it, and this was completely outside of your control. But it's not fair to those researchers that have spent years of their life building something just for their ideas to not be able to go to the next level due to this lack of funding. So why is the Trump administration doing something like this? I mean, it just seems so horrible. They have to have a good reason behind it. And through my research, and I'm not trying to offend anybody politically here, I found two main reasons why the Trump administration decided to go through with this that are just, to me, the easiest to understand. And the first one is because of this onset of woke science, especially with the LGBTQ community and all the research and studies that are going into these gender findings. And a lot of people find that unpatriotic. And I think the first thing that people need to understand is that we need to keep ideological beliefs and research being done to save lives separate. So when you cut funding to the NIH, the National Institute of Health and Sciences, that funds so many different parts of science. It's not just the LGBT community that you think you're cutting. You're cutting out on so many different fields like cancer, virology, stem cell research. All those things are being cut out because of your cuts to the entire program. And the second reason why is because they're saying that it's not efficient, right? The current standings, they're saying that NIH is wasting money. Well, if you don't realize, research takes so much time and money to get involved with. Everybody in the research setting has a role, right? Even if you're just like the janitor there. Like, you have to clean up and you have to take these precautions. And it's already been so efficient. And I'm sure the NIH, through all its years and with so many different presidencies, they've already established a system that's very efficient. And I know that was a lot of just like straight on ranting, but I think this is an issue that we actually need to address before it gets super big and it starts affecting all of our lives. And it literally hit us like a truck before we know it happened. So I guess reach out to your friends and family and try to spread this idea, right? It comes down to each and every one of our ideas. And I guess together we can stop this trend that's literally about to happen in 2026, which is just around the corner.